talking about things that YouTube made me buy. So YouTube made me buy it. This is something that was super popular a while ago, but it's not something that I think I have ever done as far as I can remember. And honestly, I'm a terrible consumer in that YouTube and Instagram make me buy a lot of things. I am very easily persuaded. I was just talking to my husband about this the other day, where if I see something on YouTube or Instagram, I'm a really bad impulse shopper and I will buy things based on just like one recommendation, which is kind of a problem sometimes. I've gotten better about doing it with makeup, but I think I've gotten worse in terms of doing it with like activewear clothes. That's become my more recent obsession. So anyway, I thought I would go ahead and talk to you guys about beauty products that YouTube made me buy. If you guys are interested in like an activewear that YouTube made me buy, I've become kind of obsessed with a few different YouTubers that do a lot of activewear stuff. Let me know that in the comments below, because I could definitely probably fill a video with activewear that YouTube made me buy because of my easy influence. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys some products that I bought because YouTube made me buy it and whether I liked them or didn't like them so much. The first two things I'm going to talk about are two powders that have actually become kind of holy grail powders for me, but YouTube made me buy them first. So the first one that's been kind of a holy grail for a while, this is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation. Mine is in light neutral, and I think they're actually phasing this out. I've seen it on Hot Look, I've seen it at Nordstrom Rack, I've seen it on sale a lot at Ulta, so unfortunately I think this is one that they're phasing out now. But this is one that Coffee Break with Danny recommended and I bought and I absolutely loved. So this is a pretty high coverage powder foundation. I can either wear it by itself when I'm trying for a really quick like 5-minute face and I just want a little bit of extra coverage, or I can layer it with foundation. I love it either way. I do find that it doesn't keep me super matte, so if that's what I'm going for, this is not something that I would reach for first, but I do think it is a great powder. If you can find it on sale in your color, I would highly recommend checking it out. If you haven't, I actually have this one and then I have a backup one that I take to school in my school bag as well. I think this is a great powder. I loved it. I'm glad that I bought it on Danny's recommendation because it is such a versatile, helpful powder that I can reach for very easily in multiple situations. The other powder that I have, I got because of Rach Loves, and this is the Wowder from Glossier. I got mine in light medium, and at first I got this and I didn't reach for it very often, and I was like, why did I buy that? But she had talked so highly of it for like a long time before it released that I just felt like I needed to have it. And this is really basically just a translucent setting powder. I found that I really like this with my foundations that make me a little bit more glowy because it is such a pretty powder that just really kind of smooths out everything. And I do find that it keeps me more matte than the Urban Decay one that I just talked about. So this one, the packaging is really nice because when you look at it, it's got one of those nets that catches most of the product and then the cap helps keep the product in so it doesn't become a complete mess. It is not the easiest powder to use because you either need to use a sponge with it or a brush, and the brush doesn't always work the best with the netting, but overall, I love this powder. I'm glad that I purchased it. I actually am going to be doing a current favorites coming up pretty soon here, and this is definitely going to be mentioned in it because I do think it is a good powder, and I don't think it's overly expensive. I mean, it's like $20, but this is going to last me for quite a while, so I don't feel like that's a terrible price. Another product that YouTube made me buy is a Glossier product. This is the Boy Brow. I feel like everybody was talking about this for the longest time, and I just got it because everybody was talking about it. I don't feel like this was any one particular YouTuber. This was a lot of different people. But honestly, this one I feel like is comparable to the Essence Make Me Brow or the Benefit Gimme Brow. This one is along the same price as the Benefit one. I think it's like $20. This one is in brown. It's just got a tiny little spoolie. It's fine. I don't feel like this is like a life-changing product that I would buy again. I will continue to use it and use it mostly up, but it's not my favorite. I think the Essence one works just as well, and the Essence one is like 1/10 of the price. So I bought this one because YouTube made me buy it, but it's not that one that I love that I found as a holy grail that I must have. The next product that I have here is a highlighter that specifically I remember Kathleen Lights talking about, but then a ton of people started talking about it. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is in 10 Be My Highlight, which I think is the only one as far as I know. But this is one that Kathleen Lights raved about, and it's like Essence, so Essence is super cheap. And it's a really nice, just natural highlight. It's not over the top. This is pretty much my everyday highlight most days. I layer this with a ColourPop highlighter, but for like $5 I think it is, it's an amazing highlighter, and I'm glad that Kathleen mentioned it and made me buy it because this is my go-to everyday highlighter so that I don't feel like my highlight is blinding over the top. It's not what I have on today. My highlight today is a little bit more blinding, but it is a really nice highlighter that just gives you a little bit of glow but not too much. Another YouTube made me buy it kind of miss I got were the ColourPop Super Shock shadows. These were all the rage for such a long time, and I have a ton of these. Honestly, I need to go through and do a declutter, but I just don't wear these. Like the Super Shock shadow formula is just not my favorite. I think the shadows can be pretty, but I feel like they're hard to apply. I prefer to use a brush and not my fingers, and I just don't feel like there's a lot of color payoff there. Like there's color payoff here, but then I can't get it on to my eye or onto a swatch. I don't know. I just don't love these. So like here I have, this one is Slay from like a collection. This one is Halo from a collection. This one is one that I actually like, and I use this one as like a topper, but this one is Hope. I think this one was from the Coffee Break with Danny collection. This one is Partridge, which I don't know if I've ever really used. Like, I don't like this formula. I think Hope and then Kindness, I think this was another Coffee Break with Danny one. That's like a really pretty iridescent one. I think those are the only two out of the ones that I have that I actually end up using. I only bought them because everybody raved about the ColourPop Super Shock shadows, and then I would get coupon codes so I would buy some. But I think these two are the only ones that I've ever ended up using. I think all the other ones I've swatched and then never really worn because I don't understand how to work with them. They just don't work for me very well. So if you guys have good suggestions on how to use the ColourPop shadows in the best way, let me know. I have one of the ColourPop actual like pressed powder palettes, and I really like that one. But the Super Shock ones, I don't like them. I don't know how to use them. Next up, I have a Glisten Glow. This is the top coat. It used to be HK Girl top coat. I think now it's just the top coat. This I bought because Young, Wild, and Polished raved about this all the time. And I'm really, really glad that I got this. I got the base coat, and I got some holographic colors because there was a sale over Black Friday. I think I mentioned these in my 2017 favorites. I'll leave those linked here if you want to check those out. But I absolutely love this. I feel like my nail polish wears really, really well when I wear this. It's nice and thick. It dries really quickly. It doesn't dry bubbly. This is a fantastic top coat, so I'm really glad that Nicole recommended it because it is a fantastic top coat. It is a little bit more expensive, but I do think it's worth it because I feel like my nails look so much better when I use this than other top coats that I've tried in the past. So this will probably be my go-to top coat for the future because I just think it is such a great top coat that doesn't mess with my nails very easily. Another more flop product that YouTube made me buy was the J. Manuel Beauty. This is the Filter Finish Collection Skin Perfector Foundation. This I got in Light Filter 4. I got this because Bailey B mentioned it. I think I mentioned this in a Products I Regret Buying video once before. I got it because of her, but I don't love it. I was going to get it through an Octoly program right before they changed their standards and I got kicked out of the program. And so I decided just to buy it for myself, but I find that it's a little bit too heavy and too sticky, that I don't feel like it spreads very well. The coverage is fine, but I just don't absolutely love it, and this is not one that I find myself reaching for, and it was a more expensive foundation. And so usually Bailey B, when she recommends things, I absolutely love them, and I almost always like the things that she recommends, and her skin type is very similar to mine, so usually her recommendations for things like foundations are right on for me. But this one I just don't like the consistency of. It's one that I should probably put in a project pan and try to get myself to use because it is a more expensive foundation. I just don't find myself reaching for it. So this is one of those YouTube made me buy it fails. It just did not work out for me very well. So, I wish I hadn't bought this one. The last two things that I have are two eyeshadow palettes, and to be honest, a lot of my eyeshadow palettes YouTube made me buy, but these are the two of the most recent palettes that YouTube made me buy that I can think of. So the first one that I have here is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This is one that I held off for such a long time on buying, and this is the only Morphe palette that I have. I used to like Jaclyn Hill a lot. I haven't really watched her. I don't watch a lot of big YouTubers very much anymore. I tend to watch a lot of the smaller ones anymore. But she's one that I used to really like, but everybody was raving about how amazing this palette was, and so eventually when it came to Ulta, I didn't buy it off the Morphe website, but eventually when it came to Ulta and I had a 20% off coupon, I decided to go ahead and buy it. This palette is absolutely beautiful. I would say I don't necessarily need this palette because a lot of these colors, especially up here, I already have, but I do like the quality of these. I feel like they blend out very nicely. I feel like the glitters, especially like the shimmer colors, are very smooth and pigmented and they go on really nicely. These colors down here are beautiful. I haven't worn them nearly enough, but I need to play with those more. But overall, I would say this is a great palette. I'm glad that I ended up buying it because it is a really nice palette. There could be more variance in the colors because I think a lot of the colors are very similar, but I do think it's a great palette, and I'm glad that I waited to buy it because I bought the version that has all the colors on the back, which I think it just helps out a little bit. I think the first one didn't have this on the back before. It's a really big palette, but I like it and I'm glad I have it. I think that I'm glad that I waited until it was on sale, but it's a really good palette. I'm happy that I purchased it and that YouTube encouraged me to, because it is right up my alley color-wise, and I do think it is a really nice palette. The last thing I'm going to talk about for today is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This is one that I was really pushing myself to not buy. I wasn't going to get it, and then I saw all these amazing tutorials on YouTube when it came out, and I figured why not get it, so I did. It is a really pretty palette, but it's not one that I find myself reaching for. So I kind of wish I hadn't gotten it, because honestly a lot of the colors in here I can find in that Jaclyn Hill palette just the same. And I'm more likely to reach for the Jaclyn Hill one than this one. I do like it and I wear it every so often, but it's just not one that I absolutely needed in my collection. I toyed with returning it and I never did, and I ended up keeping it. I don't completely regret it. I think it's a nice palette. I really like the colors and they are right up my alley. I love warm tones. I'm more likely to reach for warm tones than cool tones. It's just not one that I absolutely needed, but YouTube made me buy it, and you know, that's okay. So that is it for products that YouTube made me buy. I could definitely film more installments of this video, so if you guys would like to see more things that YouTube made me buy and my feelings on them, let me know that in the comments below, or like this video so that I know that you'd like to see more. I like these types of videos just because I think it's interesting to really go through and think about how many things did I buy only because YouTubers convinced me to do it, and how did they actually turn out for me, because I think that helps kind of curb your buying habits. If I'm buying things all the time just because YouTubers encourage me to buy it and they're not working for me, I need to reevaluate some things. So I think that's something to really think about. Let me know either way if you guys want to see another installment of this. I would also love to know, what are some things that YouTube made you buy? What are some things that either worked out for you or didn't work out for you that you only bought because YouTubers were talking about it? Let me know those in the comments down below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.